In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use OpenAI's new Agent Builder tool to create self-learning AI agents. First, I'll show you how the system works and I'm going to demo it for you. And then after that, I'll show you how to develop it for yourself. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to deploy the system so that you can use it for yourself or you can hand it off to a client. So this might look a bit complex when I first start out here, but I just want to break this system down so that you understand all of the moving pieces. And if you're a total beginner, you'll understand this a little bit better after I break it down. So we start with the user, and the user is going to send in a message, and ultimately this assistant right here is going to send a message back to the user, and they're going to carry out a conversation. But the real magic is in what happens in the middle of this system here. Now, when the user starts this off and they send their message, the first place that it's going to go is to a memory search tool. And this memory search tool is going to take what the user said. So let's imagine that the user says, "What is my name?" It's going to send that query up to a database of memories. And this is called a vector database. This is basically just all of the embeddings of all of the information that you have organized in a way that AIs can understand it. So an example of a query would be, "What is my name?" or "username," and it's going to send that into the vector database, and the vector database is going to respond semantically by giving relevant memories that are related to that user's inquiry right here. Once any memories are pulled down from this, they're going to have a lot of metadata with them, or extra stuff that this assistant isn't going to necessarily need. Things like the file ID, where this was found, the number of memories that were found, what vector store it's actually in, all of this stuff that isn't necessarily required. So this format memories here kind of acts as a filter to just pull out the memory data, just the raw text explaining that memory so that this assistant can understand that context. So going into this, if the user just said, "What is my name?" to the assistant isn't going to know out of the box what your name is. But if that's stored in the memory database, then this assistant is going to be able to get that information from this system right here. Now, what makes this system self-learning? Well, the assistant has two options. They can either just respond to the user, or they can also add new memories to the memory vector database. So if the user sends something through that isn't already in the memories vector database, then this assistant right here is able to actually add that memory. So if they say, "Hey, my name is Carter," it goes through, it queries it, it doesn't find any information in the vector database here. When it gets to the assistant has the option to add that as a memory so that it never forgets it. And this creates somewhat of a flywheel where the memories in the vector database are getting stronger every time that you go through and have a conversation with this assistant. And it's never going to forget those key details and preferences that you've laid out. So I've actually built this system out, and I'm going to show you guys how to build it as well using OpenAI's Agent Builder. And what I have here is a memories vector store. So this is just storing different files that hold bits of information. So we have this one right here, this one here, and this one right here. So right now we have these three memories. So now I'm just going to go ahead and test it out. We have a fresh conversation here, and I'm just going to say, "What is my name?" And as you can see here, it's going to conduct the file search as I diagrammed out. It's going to transform that, and now the assistant is responding. And it says right here, "Your name is Carter." So it got it perfect. It got it right. It knows that my name is Carter because that is something that's stored in my vector database. Now let's say that I wanted to add a new memory to my vector database so that whenever I come back to this conversation, this agent is going to remember that. I can just say something like, "I'm currently filming a tutorial on how to use OpenAI's new Agent Builder in order to create self-learning agents." I can send this off. The file search is going to do its thing. It's going to transform all of my existing memories. And then the assistant here is going to reason through whether or not it should upload that to the vector store. As you can see here, it wants to upload to vector store. And this is where it's actually adding a memory. And this is how that memory is encapsulated. It says Carter is filming a tutorial on how to use OpenAI's new Agent Builder to create self-learning agents, suggesting they may create educational content about AI tools. So in the future, it's going to be able to query this memory with the file search tool here. So I'm just going to hit approve to save that memory. And now I'm just getting a typical normal response from the assistant. So all of that kind of happens in the background. And all of these steps here can be hidden from the end user. I'm only showing you this in the development preview right now. Now let's close this chat and reopen a new one. And I'm just going to say, what do you know about me? And I'll send that off. File search tool is going to work. It transformed those. And now the assistant is coming back with the relevant content. So here are the memories that it returned. Your name is Carter. You have a dog named Reese. You're filming a tutorial on how to use OpenAI's Agent Builder to create self-learning agents, and you prefer short, eloquent, to-the-point responses. These are the 4 memories that the file search tool was able to pull back in. If I go back into my memories vector store here, as you can see, it has all 4 of these memories stored as text files. Now, in today's guide, I'm going to show you exactly how to build and deploy that self-learning agent. But to be honest, if you wanted to learn how to do this, OpenAI's documentation is a bit scattered. This is a new tool. And if you wanted to find exactly how to build whatever you want to build with Agent Builder online, there's not really many places to do that. So what I would recommend is if you're interested in really mastering this Agent Builder thing so that you can deploy production grade agents to your clients or for your company, you should jump into our Agent Builder Mastery course. In Agent Builder Mastery, we're going to start with the basics of mastering nodes, these little rectangles on the screen inside of Agent Builder that act as the building blocks for your agent. We really break this down so that it's simple for beginners, and we give you guys all kinds of chapters that are going to help you through whatever it is that you're struggling with. Then we'll show you how to build a couple advanced agent examples. And finally, I'm going to walk you through how to deploy your AI agents. And I'll give you all of the deployment requirements, and then we'll go ahead and deploy the agent with this tool that I built for you guys that allows you to deploy it in a corner chat modal like this, or embed it on the screen of your website so that your users can interact with it. So if you want to access this course while it's still 50% off, you can head over to aifoundations.io and you can check out our course shop. Here you can purchase the course if you'd like to. You can read more about it and you can get some more information. And then you can make the decision on whether you want to join there. Now I'm going to start with the basics. We're going to develop this agent architecture step by step, and then I'm going to show you how to deploy it. To get to OpenAI's Agent Builder tool, you're going to head over to platform.openai.com, and then you're going to head over to the dashboard link up here. That's going to open up this screen, and then you can go to Agent Builder on the left-hand side, and you can click Create Workflow. And now it's going to give you a basic workflow to start with. I'm just going to delete my agent to begin with, and we're going to add in a file search tool. And I'm just going to connect that to the start node. I'm just getting all of our nodes out here, and then we'll go ahead and configure them in a moment. The next thing that we need is a transform node. So we'll connect that transform node. And then finally, we need to connect our assistant. So I'll drag and click agent to add the assistant. So I can rename these just by adding a name here on whichever option I'm clicking. So if I click on the agent, I can just call this guy assistant. Next, let's click on File Search here, and I'm going to create a vector store. And here it's going to bring me to my storage inside of OpenAI's Agent Builder, and I'm just going to rename this vector store here. Let's just call it Tutorial Memories, and I'll hit the little check mark to confirm that. And then I'm going to copy this ID right here that it gave me. As you can see, right now the vector store is empty, but we can add to this vector store as we go. So let's next head back over to Agent Builder, and then I'll just paste in that vector store ID, and I'll see tutorial memories here. Perfect. The next thing I can do is I can show how many results that I want to bring in. And for the query, we're going to hit add context and input as text. Now what this does is it just pulls the text from the previous start node right here. So that outputs this input as text. And then the file search is going to use that to search this vector database. So if I, the user, start over here and I say, what is my name? Then it's going to use that as the query for the vector database. It's going to use some AI tools to help us grab that information. And then it's going to pull back anything relevant related to what is my name as the query. If I preview this and I just run it really quick, I can say, what is my name? As you can see, it's going to hit all of the tools, but the workflow is going to fail when it gets to the assistant because it's not pulling anything in from the transform. Now, if I want to monitor what's going on with these test runs that I'm doing, I can always click on the evaluate button in the upper right-hand corner. And what that's going to show me is it's going to show me where we ran into an error. It's this workflow node called transform. So let's see what happened just before that where we used the file search. I'll click into the file search and I'll see that I have the input and I don't have any results being output because that is an empty vector store. So what we can do for now is go into transform here, and for the value, I can click into here and I can see the schema that's getting returned. It can return all of this information. And for now, just to keep this simple, let's just click on the text string just so that it pulls back the 0 index memory. This means the first memory that it sees. If it's using 0 index here, 0 also stands for the first. That's how computer programming works. So now if I run this, this should work on the transform step. So I can say, what is my name? It still isn't going to have my name, but it should get through the transform step. And if I click into here again, as you can see, it still didn't work. So let's just do input results. Let's just get everything that it pulls through. I'll just do the full results and we'll try this again. What is my name? Okay, the transform worked that time and the assistant actually ran and gave me a response. So that's perfect. But now we need this assistant to be able to actually upload memories. So if I go into the assistant, what you're going to notice is it has this tools button right here. If I click the plus on the tools, there isn't a way right now to actually upload to the file search. I only have file search, which is doing what this does right here. It just reads the files that are in there. But how can we upload to that file search? How can we upload to the vector database? That's where I ran into an issue. And what I did to solve this is I created my own vector upload tool. Now, I custom built this MCP server, and I'm not going to go too in depth on how I built it in this video, but I am going to have a resources link below that goes along with this entire video so that you guys can kind of slow it down. I'm even going to have a copy button there so that you can just copy the entire post and you can paste it into your favorite AI tool to help you along the way. So if I want to run my upload vector tool, I can just run it over here locally. I've already developed it. So I can just send this off right here. And as you can see, it's now running a server. And if I point my ngrok domain to it, which is basically just a public way to show whatever my computer is running locally on a certain port, now this tool is up and running and it just needs a few things. So what we're going to need first is we're going to need the environment variable, my OpenAI API key. And since I have that saved here in the code for this, I can actually just grab that environment variable for the OpenAI API key. I can go into my assistant here and I can click the plus button and hit MCP server. And then I can add in a server. I can put in my token down here. And then for the URL, I'm just going to type in whatever my MCP server's URL is. And in this case, it's carter.ngrok.app/SSE. And then I can just call this tool something. So we can just call it memory uploader tool. Now, if I hit connect, as you can see, I have this tool in here called upload to vector store. And this is all running on my server. So let's go ahead and add this tool. Now let's just give it some basic instructions. I can just say, you are a helpful assistant and you receive any memories that are already relevant to the conversation here. And then I can give it any of the memories that came from the transform node. So if I just add context, I can add in the result because remember, we just had the result coming out here. So if I add the result, there we go. And then next I can say you can also upload these memories if you have any new memories to add. You can also upload new memories if the user expresses any preference that's not in the previous memories given above. Make sure to always upload the user's memory preferences using your upload memory tool that you have access to. And then we can just insert the user's actual message here. It's already going to receive the message if we have include chat history on, but if I just add in the user message here, that will just make it a lot easier for this assistant to understand the difference between any previous memories that it has up here versus what the user's actual raw message is. So I'll go ahead and add in the context. Now let's go ahead and test this out. I'm just going to hit the start button right here, and then I'll go ahead and send a message saying, what is my name? If I send this off, the first time around, it should not know my name because we haven't told it my name in the past and it's not in our memories. So it says, I don't know your name. Now, if I say, my name is Carter, and I send this off, it should pull me to the vector store upload approval. So here it's just asking if I want to approve this new memory. The user's name is Carter. I'm going to go ahead and approve. And now it should remember that my name is Carter. Now let's go ahead and close this and go back into a fresh chat just to test this out. So I'll go ahead and send a message again. What is my name? And if I send it this time, it should be able to pull back what my name is. As you can see, it says your name is Carter. And the reason that it's able to do that is because over in my vector store tool, it is now saved in tutorial memories, a new file right here. And this file represents the my name is Carter memory. Now this is going to work just fine as is, but if I go into the transform node, I can actually get rid of the old value in there and I can paste in this new one here. I'll have this linked in the description below with the resources so that you guys can use this as well. And what this does is it just checks if we have memories at each level of the index, and it adds up to 10 memories in here. So that is the max that we have set on the file search, 10 max results. And if you wanted to, you could just add more cases if you want to allow more maximum memories to be pulled into the context. Now let's go ahead and deploy this agent because a lot of people have trouble deploying these OpenAI Agent Builder workflows to the live internet. So what you can do is you can just hit publish in the upper right-hand corner, hit publish again. And now that it's published, it is going to give me a workflow ID. So to get that workflow ID, I'll just click on the code right here. And then I see workflow ID. Now we're about to get into deployment. This is the exciting part, but it can be a bit complex, especially if you aren't a developer or you haven't had experience as a programmer in the past. So if you want the step-by-step, hold your hand all the way through nitty-gritty of how to actually go through the development and deployment process, then I recommend checking out our Agent Builder Mastery course. Link will be in the description below. Now to make deployment easier, I have a starting server. It's just called Easy ChatKit Server, and this just makes it a whole lot simpler to deploy your ChatKit server. So I can actually just clone this, and then I can just change a few of the variables, and I can get this running on my local device. So I'll just CD to documents, and then I'll CD into my projects. And then I'll make a directory for tutorial deployment, and then I'll CD into that. And next, I'm just going to type in git clone, and then I'm going to paste that URL. It's just github.com/cartcodes/easy-chatkit-server.git. I'll hit enter, and now it has cloned that repository. So if I just copy the name of it, now I should be able to CD into that. And now we're in there. Okay, boom. So now if I open this up in VS Code, I should be able to see that we have an example environment variables here. So we have the OpenAI API key, we have the ChatKit workflow ID, we have the domain key, port, base URL, and node environment. Next, head over to chatkit.studio/playground, and it's going to bring you to this chat builder. So you can build out this chat widget however you want to see it on your website or wherever you're deploying this agent to. I'm just going to make a couple changes. I pretty much like how I have this, but I do want to change the surface color here. So I can just change the color of the background, make it like a off mint color maybe. And then for the accent, I'm going to go with a mint color for our little send button down here, as you can see. And then once I'm done editing this, I can go into my ChatKit options and copy the code there. Then I'll head over to our Easy ChatKit server. I've got it open here in VS Code or any code editor that you want, and you can just paste in your ChatKit configuration here. So this is just the code that you get from ChatKit. I've just gone ahead and pasted it into config.ts. And now we're ready to deploy this thing. So if I just close this and save it, the easiest way that I have found to deploy this is to just upload this to GitHub. So I can head over to GitHub and I can create a new repository. And here I'm just going to call it my ChatKit server. I'm going to make sure that the visibility is on private, and then I'll go ahead and create the repository. Now I'll copy this link right here, And while I'm in this folder, I'm just going to commit this to GitHub. A quicker way to do this is not to type it out manually, but just to have Claude help you do it. So I can use Claude Code, which we also have a course on in our classroom if you're interested in diving into that, just to speed up your development process. And I can just say something along the lines of, I want to upload this to GitHub. Here is the Git repo that we're going to be using. And I can just paste in that repo and hit enter. If you know how to use Git, you can also just manually do this, but this is a bit quicker. And now it's just going to push what we have here to Git. And as you can see, it said our code has been pushed to this GitHub repository. So if I copy this URL here, and then I head over to that in my web browser, I should see my code has been uploaded here. Perfect. Now I'm going to head over to railway.com and I'm just going to create a new project and I'm going to select GitHub repository. Then we'll go ahead and configure the GitHub app. And I'm just going to go down and I'm going to add in that repository. So I can just search for it right here. Can just type in and I should see my ChatKit server and hit save. Now, if I refresh, I should see it come in right here, my ChatKit server. So I'll go ahead and click on it. And this should deploy directly from GitHub to a website that they spin up for me. Now, the first time that you run this, it's going to crash, but if you go into your variables, you can go ahead and enter your environment variables here, like your OpenAI API key, your ChatKit workflow ID, your domain public key, the base URL. And you can also go into your settings here. And if you scroll down, you can generate a domain for your server. And I'm just going to have this on port 8080. That's fine. I'll go ahead and generate the domain and I can copy this domain. And then in my variables, I'm going to add that as the base URL and I can just give it HTTPS at the beginning. Then after you've filled out all of your environment variables, you can redeploy. And here on deployments, I can monitor the deployment. And then after the deployment is successful, you can just go to the website that you generated. And once you're here, you should be able to see that you have this preview of Corner widget. If you click on it, it should open up the chat interface that we created. So as you can see here, it has the green accent that we added. And if I say, what is my name? It's able to go through the process silently to find what my name is. And it also brings back some other context as well. And if I wanted to embed this on a website, I can just copy the embed code. Then if I wanted this on a public facing website, I could use something like Lovable, or I could embed it on a WordPress website, anywhere that I want on the internet. And what I can do here is I can just say, make a simple page with this embed on it. And I can paste in the script that my server gives me. And it's getting to work now, creating that website. Then if I preview it out of the box, as you can see, it's not working. But if I went ahead and published this and just hit publish, now it's going to give me this domain here that I can copy. I'll add this to my allowed domains in OpenAI and hit save changes. Then if I actually head over to this website, I should see that it loads up perfectly right here. So now anybody that goes to this website can utilize this chat interface, and they can also have a chat history, and it's going to construct that for them right here. I hope you enjoyed today's guide, and if you want to learn more about OpenAI's Agent Builder, then check out our course, Agent Builder Mastery. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this and what you need more help with when it comes to using Agent Builder. I'll see you guys in the next one.